In this video, you're going to get exclusive content from my Graduate Squarespace course, where I export and import blog content from Squarespace to WordPress, and how you go about doing this correctly from an SEO standpoint. Now, this is now going to include everything from the course, because the course is like 18 plus hours of content, and I just simply can't upload all of that to YouTube. However, I will give you access to this one lesson that is crucial for any migration from Squarespace to WordPress, and you may find it helpful in your process or in your decision making of if you're going to do this yourself or if you're going to hire somebody to do this. If you would like access to the course, there's a coupon down below for 20% off. And if you're looking to have somebody do it, please contact me and we'll see if it's a good fit for us to export the content for you and to make the move over to WordPress. I know it's a little bit intimidating from time to time going to a new platform, especially when Squarespace is very simple to use and there's bees attacking me right now. I'm doing this for you right now. So hopefully this is helpful for you. It is quite a long video as I'm going through the whole process step by step, showing you exactly what to do. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment down below or check out this Graduate Squarespace course. There may be a lesson in there that may be helpful for you. And we'll see you in the next one.
Alrighty, so the first step in Module 2 for the migration is to export our content from Squarespace. Now we are only going to be able to export our blog posts, but I will show you how to quickly export manually your other pages and content. We will have to go through and grab images and files as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So as you can see here on Will's site, we've got a members area, which we'll discuss in future lessons. And then we've got the blog here. Now, so this is the portion that's actually going to be exported. And these other pages here are not going to be exported. Now, in the previous video lesson, I did show you quickly how I exported the About page, just by manually copying and pasting it from the front end, not from the back end editor. So if you've got a blog like this, and as you can see, we've got a lot of blog posts here. So I'm going to go ahead and go back here to settings. And then what we're going to do is go to advance and then the import export. And we're going to go ahead and click on export. And at this point you can click WordPress. And now wait for this to run its course here. It might take a couple minutes depending on how large the blog is. So while that's going, get yourself some more coffee or a little snack while you're waiting for this. It should take just a few minutes for it to run. There we go. Boom. Alrighty. So now at this point we can go ahead and say download. And we're going to say save file. So what you'll get is an XML file like so with today's date on it. And now you can go ahead and leave this up here. And what you're going to want to do is go to your WordPress backend. Alright, so now that you've got that file downloaded from Squarespace, now you can go to the import tool under tools, ironically. And then, so you've got import, and this is already pre-installed. Go ahead and go down to the bottom here where it says WordPress and hit Run Importer. And then this says choose a file from your computer, hit Browse, grab that download. It should be an XML package. And then, so it'll say Squarespace WordPress export, should have today's date on it. Go ahead and say upload file and import. And cross your fingers that it runs smoothly. Okay, cool. So, assign authors. To make it simpler for you to edit and save the imported content, you may want to reassign the author of the imported item to an existing user on this site, such as a primary administrator account. If a new user is created by WordPress, a new password will randomly be generated and the new user's role will be set as a subscriber. So, and you can actually change the details later. So actually what we do want to do is we want to import this author. Now in your case, if you were the author on the WordPress, in your case, if you were the author on your Squarespace blog and you use the same email that you used there as you did with your new WordPress, this won't show up. Now this is saying that it'll import attachments. Now, I was under the impression that this wasn't actually going to work because it previously never did. We're going to try it anyways though, download and import. That's why. So this will import attachments. So any file attachments that you have, it'll import those, but it won't import your images. I'm 95% certain about that. So we're going to go ahead and import the author, and so we're going to say import author. So it'll import this author and it'll create a password for them. So we're going to go ahead and hit submit. This may take a few moments. Don't leave this page while this is doing this, okay? Make sure that you leave this page up and running for added sanity or insanity, I don't know. I'm actually not gonna let my computer go to sleep, and I'm not gonna leave this page. Alrighty, so we are all done here. Kind of funny that have fun. So we need to remember to update the passwords and the users and the roles of the imported users. So if you got the same message that I did, if you're using a different email or what have you, or if you've got multiple users, multiple authors, what you want to do is go click on users, and then all users right here, Will Gibbons, subscriber, we're going to say edit, and we are going to say that he is an administrator. And then we're going to go ahead and say update user, and then go back to users here, and it'll be a send password button right here. So we can go ahead and send password reset link. That way he gets, he may have already gotten an email. I just want to make sure that it actually sends him an email. Okay, so now at this point, let's go take a look at the site and see what it looks like. So as you can see here, we've got all of our posts. It looks just like his homepage right now. All right, so now that we've got all the posts imported, now this comes the most painful part of the process. Now, I hope that you're prepared for this. So what you need to do is, if you take a look at your posts that have shown up on the home page, in this case right now, pretty much actually all of your posts, and if you click on this and you look at the images that are here, all of these images are still hosted on Squarespace. Not to mention they don't look right. The reason being is that it's using Squarespace code in order to try to display these, but it's obviously not correct. So what we need to do in this case is actually do something a little bit painful, and this will be more painful if you have more images, is you need to go to your original posts, and I'm just going to do this one at a time, starting from the most recent and going to the oldest. You click on the first post, go to your first post or your most recent post in Squarespace, and go down. And so depending on the images, some images like this one right here, you can right click on, you can say open image in new tab. We're going to go ahead and do that for the ones that we can. This is going to be pulling up. We're going to go ahead and, so this one right here, we're going to say open image in new tab. Okay, so now for all the images that you can't just right click and say open image in new tab, here's how you go about this. I'm in Firefox, but I believe that Chrome is the exact same. You right click and you say inspect. Okay, so now you've got this inspection panel right here. Click on the little arrow right there, and you'll see this image class, or the image and then the class. So you click in here, and then at the bottom of this, you'll see src, which equals source, and then it says images.squarespace-cdn. So what you want to do is, sometimes you have to get this big enough up here, is you want to right click on that and then say open link in new tab. And that'll open up this link, this image. This will open up the largest image of it also. Same with all these other ones. This is the largest version of the image. So we want to do that with each one of these. So you can leave this inspector open down here, and you can just scroll down to the next one and then click on this little arrow right here, and it'll let you select the next image that you want to grab here. So we'll grab that one, and then we'll go ahead and click in, open link in new tab, and do that with the next one. Open that up there. Now, if you were really smart, if you're really ahead of your game, or if you just happen to have all of these images saved on your computer somewhere or in the cloud somewhere, then you could certainly go about it that way. It's totally an option. Would save you a bit of time, but in our case, we're just going to download them individually. And then we can just click over here to the next one. So before I do the next one though, I'm going to go ahead and say right click, save image as, and I've already created a folder here with the name of the site, Will Gibbons site. And so I'm just going to save all these images in this folder. So I've already, I don't think I've saved this one actually. No. Okay. And I'm just going to save them in the exact same title. And I'm going to close out of it so I know I got it. Save image as, save. Close out of that. Save image as, save. Right click, save image as, save. And then these other ones opened up down here. And I'm pretty sure I already got this one saved here. Yes. And then save image as, save. Right click, save image as, save. Right click, save image as, save. Okay, so that's the first one. So then I'm going to show you how to go about changing all these in here. So go to edit post, and then this is in the classical editor, but we're going to change this to block. So if you click on right down here, it'll give you the option to convert to blocks. And now this will look a little funky, no doubt about that. We're going to go through and clean all this up, okay? So let's go all the way up to the top here. Now if we scroll here, we can see that this is all for an image right here. Okay, and actually it is for that frosted glass blog post featured image. So we're going to get rid of this. What we're going to do is we're going to add right below this block, we're going to add an image. We're going to upload, and we're going to grab that one that we just saved. Frosted glass blog post featured image. That one right there. Open that up. And it should say if there was a, right here. This is the image caption. So the nice thing about seeing this code is you can actually see, oh yes, the image caption is right here. So we're going to copy this thing right here. Copy. And then under here we're going to say, boom. copy and paste that bad boy right there in that description right there. So now what we can do is we can go here and we can click on the 3 little dots and say remove block. And now we've got this right here. Now what I need to make sure is that the alignment, I don't know if it's centered left or centered. Let's see what it is on this page. You might not even be able to tell because of how large it is. But I'm going to go with centered, methinks. I don't even think it makes a difference because of how large the image is. Okay, so we got this image in here. We can add an alternative text. This is always good for SEO. And you know what? It might have even been in there. We might not have just... Actually, apologies. No, it was not in there because Squarespace doesn't really let you to do alt text to that degree. But we can copy the description, or excuse me, we can copy the caption and use that as our alt text because that's the same. That'll be the same aspect there. Now, okay, so here's where we need. This is where if you had 2 monitors, it'd be a little bit easier because you could be showing both of these side by side. So these 2 images are side by side here. So I'm going to show you how to do that here in the WordPress editor. So if you click on the little plus add block, then what we're going to do is we're going to say that we're doing an image, and then we're also doing another image below it. And if we grab this, okay, so I'm going to show you how to get those 2 images side by side here. So you click on the little plus and type in column, and it'll give you the option here of what variation to start with. We're going to do 50-50, but you can play with that as you want. And then we can say add block inside this column here. We're adding an image here, and so we're going to upload the darker one here. And then we're going to upload the lighter one here. And then we need to insert the captions below. So in this text block here, we should see glass is too dark when rendered with a single surface scattering. That's what we want. Add that as a caption. And then do image is too, or image looks correct right here. And that's exactly how that is there. Okay. And then we can go ahead and delete this block now. And so basically you just need to walk through every single one of these. Now this is already good because this is just the YouTube video right here, so we don't need to do anything there. Don't mind my dog in the background. Okay, and so it's the same thing right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and you can just follow along by watching because I've already done it once up there. Okay, and then same thing with these images here. Damn it, wrong one. Damn it. All right, and so the final thing I'm going to say is make sure that you, in this setting here, make sure that you, under Show More Settings, over here on the right-hand side, you'll get the image settings for your alt text. So make sure that you also type this in as well. In an ideal world, it'd be different than the caption, but it doesn't have to be. In this case, that's what it already was different. Or sorry, it was already the same as it was in. So Squarespace uses the alt text is what the image caption is. So you've already got that taken care of there. I'm just going to make sure that that's the case there as well. Okay. So just to make sure that everything stays the same and Google isn't freaking out that things are different, I'm going to make sure that all of these have the correct alt text. And I don't think that these had alt text, did they? Just the name of the title. But we can go ahead and do something right here. We can say smooth glass slide interaction. Okay, so now we've got all of that taken care of. So we've got all those images, and now the final one is this image right here. And we're going to go ahead and do that one real quick. And that was centered, perfect, like it is right there. Or there we go. Now it's centered. And let's add this caption right here. And this is a link actually here, so make sure right up here where this little link button is here, we are going to add the link, which is should be right here somewhere. I'll just go ahead and copy the link there that way. That's right, it's a /learn. So we need to create this page at some point, but that'll work for right now. So okay, now we can go ahead and delete this thing right here. Remove that block, and now we need to clean this up a little bit. So we can do that and that. Make sure that those are appropriate. And anything else that needs to be done? Were these all H2s? They must have been. Yep, okay. So that is kind of a rough rundown on how to clean up your posts. Now, this is only one post in particular. You know, you're going to have to do this with every one. And oh, you know what? I missed one more right here. I missed this thing right here. Which we may end up doing this differently in the future. I think we're going to do this differently. So we're actually going to input this into a block, into a WordPress block, or not a Gutenberg WordPress block, but a code snippet that will automatically pull this in. That way, Will only has to edit this thing once, and then he can put in anything new that he wants to put here, and that way we don't have to have something too different here. So we're gonna go ahead and get to that here in a second. But in the meantime, I am going to just go ahead and grab that code right here. So if you have any custom HTML you need to do, you can just simply type in HTML, and that is that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit update. And now at this point, we are going to view the post and make sure it looks like it's supposed to. So we're gonna open up the page right here, go to the home page, pick up the first one, and we do need to edit the text so that it matches that, and maybe make it a little bit wider as well. I'm just going back and forth here. I'm doing Control Tab. I think that's Alt Tab on a PC, and I'm just seeing if there's anything blaringly obviously different. Now, obviously, there is the text font family itself, but we're going to get to that eventually. I wanted to have all the content in here so that way I can actually edit the font families and the font styling and be able to see a good quality comparison between the two without having to go, and redo it later. So yeah, I think the main thing is that depending on how Will wants this, if we're going to make it wider or not. But otherwise, everything looks pretty similar here. This blue is a little bit different. But I kind of like this blue more, really. Talk to Will and see what he thinks. Okay, so that concludes getting the images from your Squarespace page. So make sure you go through every single post. I'm going to do the same thing right now. Yep, it's a lot of work, but it's what's necessary in order to optimize your images, okay? So just make sure you go through each one and add the caption, add any alt text, and make sure that you are getting the proper files. So all of your images should, if you right click on the image and you say inspect, the image should be, oopsies, I'm on the wrong one. If you right click on an image and you say open image in new tab, it should be on your temporary domain. You should see this WP content uploads. You should definitely see that. If you don't see that and you see your Squarespace CDN, that means you did not move it over. And you have to do that. Otherwise, when you go to launch your site and you kill the Squarespace page, all your images are going to be gone and you're going to be hosed. So you got to do all this stuff now. I almost forgot. So once you've updated all of your images and you're happy with it and all the images are now on your WordPress site and you've updated any links or anything like that, so if you've got any links to any other blog posts, you want to make sure that you update those. And if you've got any links to anything else that's within your site, you want to make sure that that's updated so that it's going to the right place. But once you've done that and you are happy with the post, what you want to do is go back to our cheat sheet. Go back to our Excel spreadsheet, cheat sheet, and make sure that you mark it as complete. So what we're going to do real quick, because I'm just going to show you. So we just did one that he actually posted he posted this after I did the Squarespace migration, before I made this cheat sheet. So let's go ahead and input it real quick, just because we need to. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to throw it into our spreadsheet here at the bottom. And the title was called "The Best Way to Render Frosted Glass in Keyshot." actually. Is that what it's called though? If we inspect it, then in the header, we should get the title of it right here. Right, there it is. Okay, and then the meta description is going to also be in the header right here under meta description right here. Copy that, paste it in there, and drag these, oopsies. Drag these down and drag these down as well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say done. Now, one more thing we need to do for this specific page is we need to go into the WordPress backend, or dashboard they call it, however you want to call it. And then we want to go into our tools and redirection. And now what I'm going to do is, and maybe you want to do this too, so there's some groups here. So I'm going to add a new group down here at the bottom, and I'm going to call it old blog posts. And see how it's got the WordPress? You want to leave that, say add. This is just a way to organize things, just to make it easy for yourself so you can quickly see. So the source URL is going to be, see how it's got that blog/frosted glass, and the new one does not. So we could even throw that in here real quick if we wanted to. Slash, we're just doing frosted glass in this case, like so. Okay, so so we're gonna take the ending portion of that, copy that, and paste. And then we're just going to grab that and put it right here. Make sure that you leave a leading or a following slash on it. So, you know, if we open this in a new tab, we can see right here, you just want that portion right there. Okay? This way, if anybody else out there in the world or Google has this old link, and make sure that they go to the correct page and not a 404 page. Okay, so we're going to add it to the group of old blog posts, and we're going to go ahead and say redirect, and it's good to go. I think I'm going to rename this to Squarespace SS blog posts. That makes more sense, right? Okay, so that's how you do that. So just make sure that as you are going through, you are checking your cheat sheet and making sure that you mark it off. And now I can say that the URL redirect is also complete. Okay, so that's why this is here, so that you can keep track of every post that you do. So just go through and do one by one. You could start at the top. Again, right now we're mainly focusing on the blog pages. So you may want to focus on just the blog pages at this point in time. But then as you continue, you just want to make sure that you're marking these off so that you know if you've done it or not, or if you forgot one. You don't want any redirections possible. At the end of this, I'm going to show you how you can check to see if you've got any mistakes that you missed, but you can't tell if you have any mistakes until it's live for Google to crawl, and then Google will crawl it and see a 404 and let you know. But to stay ahead of it, let's use the cheat sheet and go through everything one post at a time. I know it seems really tedious, but it's well worth it. Okay, and I'll see you in the next lesson.